Hey, what's up, Spooky fam? Today we are back with 3 more. I was browsing our paranormal, so we're gonna do 3 more Reddit horror stories, paranormal stories. I saw a picture, we will get to it, and it made me feel yucky on the inside. So if you enjoyed this video, please go ahead, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, check out all of my links down below if you'd like to see any more of me or support the channel any further. Let's get right into 3 more stories from our paranormal. All right, this first one that we're going to get to, I'm inserting the photo. Okay, here we go. My family and I were cleaning our house. We came across an old bin of toys from when I was a child, and to our surprise, we found this. This definitely is not a childhood toy. My guess is perhaps when we moved homes, a mover who helped us pack maybe threw this in the toy bin thinking maybe it belonged there. We are definitely creeped out. We thought maybe this is voodoo or witchcraft related. It could also just be some odd trinket souvenir from a family member's travels. We're just unsure, and any help would be appreciated. I hate this thing. Let's read some comments. Someone says, to be honest, it looks like a doll head wrapped in skin. Ew. The original poster replies, I suppose it's definitely leather though. And another person responds, that would be some thick skin. A couple other comments read, looks like a binding spell and looks like a nope. It almost looks like one of those Kewpie Mayo, like the little babies, almost like a Sunny Angel doll wrapped in, literally looks like skin of some sort. I don't know, it looks like a tanned skin. It makes me feel icky on the inside. It makes me feel like it was made with like a malicious purpose. I don't know. Maybe it could have been like, there's a little girl on TikTok who's obsessed with like her mom's old extensions and she carries them around like the hair. Maybe it could have been something like that, kind of weird comforting toy, but that shit freaks me out. And if I had a kid and they had one of those little baby face skin toys, noping that the F out of my house. In the last Reddit horror stories video that I did, we did a story about a black orb and someone asking if you've ever seen black orbs. You know how orbs are normally maybe a gray, transparent, clear, like a white almost, and they kind of glide across the screen in photos. Almost looks like dust. Probably is dust. But in the last video that we did, we talked about black orbs, and I actually found this story here where this Reddit user shares, has anyone been followed by a red orb? About 6 months ago, I was walking to my friend's house, and while I was walking, I noticed a red dot in the sky. I didn't think much of it. I took a right on the street onto a private dirt road that's about a quarter mile long. When I entered the gate, I noticed the red orb move directly over her barn where we hang out. Zero sound, so I know it couldn't have been a drone, and the light was not blinking, it just stopped. It was probably 50 or 60 feet from the ground. Has anyone seen this happen before? It was midnight, so maybe it was some kids flying a drone, but again, it had zero sound, and it was just a red ball hovering over the barn/shed. Has anyone encountered something similar before? And please don't lie. One of the comments reads, back in 2004, I lived on acreage in rural Oklahoma. One warm summer night, from the window in my bedroom, I watched a basketball-sized glowing red orb floating from side to side along the dirt road as if it was scanning for something. It was maybe 10 to 15 feet off the ground, totally silent. It made a loop around a tree in my front yard, which spooked me away from the window. When I was brave enough to look again, it was scanning around the tops of the barn and pole buildings across the road. It went behind the barns and disappeared. I was completely sober and and of sound mind, getting ready for bed at around midnight. It scared the shit out of me, and I'll never forget it. And for like you to recount that 20 years later, I feel like it stuck with you. But I have never encountered any sort of red glowing light. Any kind of red lights we see around here are definitely drones. So let me know if you've experienced a red orb. And finally, our last story here. This Reddit user shares, I think I just saw a ghost / shadow person for the first ever time. Me and my mom have just been driving home, and as we pulled up to our road, I saw this figure. It looked like a young woman, slender, messy long hair, but she was completely black, like a silhouette, in the middle of the road walking towards our car. As soon as I saw her, my stomach dropped and I got this really bad feeling. She walked onto the pavement and went behind a car, but when I looked back, I didn't see her. Maybe it was an actual girl and not a ghost shadow person, because I saw this at 11 p.m. and it was dark. But even so, my mom didn't see the woman walking towards our car, and she had her glasses on. I didn't. Also, there was a lamp post close to where the woman was, and she still appeared as a silhouette. Literally no color or definition to her features. So I don't know what this was, but it creeped me out so much. And I wanted to put this story in there because I feel like one of my biggest fears is something materializing because of my own imagination. I always say I'm a skeptic, but I have a really crazy imagination, and I am really good at playing tricks on myself, even though I know everything is completely fine. So if it was just a one-person experience, I feel like maybe it could have been the mind playing tricks. However, we have a couple towns over, there is a long stretch of like dirt road called Texas Road, and people say it is haunted. And it's ever since I was a little girl, like everybody's always said, don't go, Texas Road is so haunted, it's so scary. I've been down it a few times, and yes, at night it is very creepy, but I haven't experienced anything scary. But my biggest fear is perhaps being out on Texas Road and like maybe tricking myself or seeing shadows that I don't like. That's my fear, and that's why I wanted to include this story, because I kind of wanted to ask you guys if you ever, like, if you have an active imagination like me, have you ever like tricked yourself into believing that there was something in the room with you, or that you were experiencing something paranormal even though you weren't? Let me know in the comments. I used to think that like when I would go from the bedroom to the bathroom at my parents' house, I would hear footsteps shuffling behind me, but I think it was just like me like being so afraid of like silence. But that's all for today's video. I hope that you enjoyed. Please go ahead and check out my links down below if you would like to see any more of me or support the channel any further, and I will see you guys very soon. Sayonara, Spooky fam.